Kin's alien saga, which began with the extraordinary discovery of a meteorite in Panama and the shocking revelation of a black goo-like entity inside it, has now come to what many are calling its dramatic conclusion. In a final video posted to his account, Kin can be seen releasing the mysterious being into the wild during daylight hours. The scene was unmistakable. An ancient-looking temple with stonework weathered by time, accompanied by a small body of water nearby. It was in this sacred and surreal setting that Kin opened the safe and allowed the entity to leave his care. The release instantly divided viewers across the world. For some, Kin's decision was seen as an act of recklessness that could bring consequences beyond human understanding. They warned that letting the creature free in a populated environment with open access to both natural ecosystems and human settlements might one day be remembered as a grave mistake. Voices in this camp argue that Kin, after carefully documenting the entity's growth, movement, and strange, almost deliberate patterns of behavior, should have sought a more secure containment option rather than releasing it into the world. To them, the footage was chilling, a moment that symbolized the beginning of something humanity might not be ready to face. Others, however, celebrated Kin's choice, calling it an act of compassion or even destiny. They argued that the being was never meant to be locked away inside a metal safe, cut off from the natural world. Its strange branching growths, its movement resembling something alive, and the way it seemed to react to its surroundings all pointed to it being more than just a material. To this group, Kin had simply returned it to the environment it needed in order to thrive. The temple and the water, they noted, carried deep symbolic weight. It was as though Kin had chosen a place where the entity could exist away from heavy human interference, a site both ancient and spiritual. Almost immediately, people living in the region began sharing their intentions. Several locals and enthusiasts claimed they lived near the temple and that they planned to go there in search of the creature. These individuals declared that they would continue the work Kin had started, documenting the alien-like goo and ensuring the story would not end with its release. The idea of an entirely new chapter emerging has already sparked interest, with many saying that the saga is no longer solely Kin's, but now belongs to a wider community of those determined to uncover the truth about the being. The final video itself was haunting in its simplicity. Kin, who had grown increasingly cautious in previous uploads, filmed the black goo entity being lowered to the edge of the temple's water. When the container was opened, the goo seemed to move with immediate purpose, its black, shimmering surface reacting to the sunlight and the water nearby. It pulsed, extending tendrils toward the water, and then slowly immersed itself. For those watching, the moment was unforgettable, the sight of something not of this earth merging with nature in broad daylight. Reactions online were explosive. Within hours, millions of views poured in, and debates raged across platforms. Those convinced of extraterrestrial origins pointed to the entity's sentient-like movement and its apparent attraction to natural elements as signs of a life form far beyond current scientific understanding. The biological camp emphasized its organic appearance, suggesting it could be an undiscovered form of life native to our planet but hidden until now. Meanwhile, the technological camp insisted its complex, web-like growth patterns bore hallmarks of design, hinting that it may be a manufactured material or even alien technology capable of self-assembly. What has made Kin's story resonate so deeply is the blend of tangible visual evidence and the raw unpredictability of each update. For months, people tuned in to see the entity grow, watched it confined inside a safe, and speculated about the pressures Kin faced from officials and outsiders who wanted it taken from him. Now, with the safe opened in such a symbolic setting, his saga has reached a point that feels both final and unfinished. Final, because Kin himself has seemingly stepped back, allowing the being to go free. Unfinished, because the creature is still out there, in a location many now know, with individuals already pledging to continue the documentation. The fears of a cover-up have only intensified. Some argue that by releasing the entity in public, Kin has ensured that any attempt to erase the phenomenon will fail. Too many eyes have seen it, too many copies of the video exist, and too many people now know the temple where it resides. Others worry this visibility only increases the likelihood that authorities will intervene, remove the entity quietly, and once again leave the public with nothing but speculation and unanswered questions. For Kin's supporters, his act was one of courage. They argue that he understood the weight of what he had discovered and that locking it away forever would mean humanity would never know the truth. By releasing it, he gave the world undeniable footage of its existence. They claim that, regardless of what happens next, Kin has already succeeded in showing the public something extraordinary, something that cannot be dismissed as myth or rumor. For critics, however, the release is a moment of dread. They believe Kin may have unleashed something humanity cannot control, potentially exposing ecosystems, communities, and perhaps even the entire world to unknown risks. They point to the countless stories and warnings in literature and film, where small acts of curiosity or defiance unleash forces too great to contain. To them, Kin's saga is no longer a fascinating curiosity, but a source of concern for the future. As of now, the black goo remains in the wild, near the temple and its small body of water. It is said to continue shifting, growing, and reacting to its environment, unseen by most, but imagined by millions. Kin's story may have ended with his final video, but in truth, it has only passed into the hands of others, those who will search for the creature, those who will try to protect it, and those who will attempt to silence the entire phenomenon. In 2015, one of the most significant leaks in recent history occurred when emails from John Podesta, the former White House chief of staff and senior advisor to multiple US presidents, were made public. Among these emails was a startling exchange between Podesta and Edgar Mitchell, a former NASA astronaut and sixth man to walk on the moon. In these emails, Mitchell urged Podesta to work toward the disclosure of zero-point energy, a theoretical energy source that could revolutionize human technology and eliminate dependence on fossil fuels. The leaked emails immediately ignited speculation that government programs related to advanced energy technologies, UFOs, and extraterrestrial life were being deliberately concealed from the public. Many saw this as further evidence that figures within NASA, the military, and the intelligence community have long been aware of breakthroughs that could alter society, but have chosen to withhold this knowledge for reasons of national security, economic control, or fear of societal upheaval. Edgar Mitchell was not just any astronaut. As a member of Apollo 14, he became the sixth person to set foot on the moon in 1971. His experience in space profoundly changed him, leading him to explore consciousness, extraterrestrial intelligence, and advanced energy systems. After retiring from NASA, he spent much of his life advocating for disclosure on classified energy technologies and the existence of intelligent extraterrestrial life. In his emails to John Podesta, Mitchell made it clear that he believed zero-point energy was real and was being kept secret. Zero-point energy refers to the limitless quantum energy present in the fabric of space-time. If harnessed, it could provide infinite, free energy, ending dependence on fossil fuels, eliminating energy scarcity, and redefining modern technology. However, according to Mitchell, this knowledge was being suppressed by classified government programs, likely connected to black budget projects involving advanced aerospace technology and recovered UFO materials. Mitchell also referenced extraterrestrial involvement in his emails, suggesting that non-human entities were aware of humanity's technological capabilities and were monitoring human activities on Earth. He emphasized the importance of peaceful engagement with extraterrestrials and believed that zero-point energy could be one of the keys to understanding the physics behind their advanced crafts. John Podesta has been one of the most vocal advocates for UFO and energy technology disclosure among high-ranking political figures. Throughout his career, he has made multiple public statements emphasizing the need for transparency regarding unidentified aerial phenomena and advanced scientific discoveries. Podesta served as Chief of Staff to President Bill Clinton, a senior counselor to President Barack Obama, and chairman of Hillary Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign. During these roles, he frequently expressed frustration over the lack of government transparency on UFOs and advanced energy research. In a statement, he even tweeted that his biggest regret of that year was failing to secure the disclosure of UFO files. Given his long-standing interest in the subject, the leaked email correspondence between Mitchell and Podesta was not entirely surprising. However, the implications of their discussion were profound, as they suggested that figures with NASA credentials and political influence were actively working to reveal classified technologies that, if disclosed, could radically alter society. The leak of Mitchell's emails to Podesta led to widespread speculation and debate. Many in the UFO and alternative energy communities saw this as further proof that the government has been suppressing knowledge of zero-point energy and other advanced technologies for decades. If the technology Mitchell described truly exists, it would mean that humanity has already developed energy solutions that could eliminate global energy crises, reduce environmental destruction, and completely reshape geopolitics. The secrecy surrounding such advancements, if proven true, raises serious ethical and moral concerns. If zero-point energy or related technologies are linked to classified military projects, revealing them could expose national security secrets. If these energy systems power advanced propulsion methods, secret spacecraft, or defense mechanisms, governments may fear losing technological superiority over rival nations. Some scientists argue that such an energy source could be dangerous if not properly controlled. If zero-point energy were weaponized, it could lead to catastrophic consequences, making it an existential threat on par with nuclear weapons. Mitchell's reference to extraterrestrials monitoring human technology has led to speculation that non-human intelligence may have a vested interest in how humanity advances technologically. Some believe that contact with extraterrestrials has already influenced classified scientific research, and that disclosure may reveal more than just new energy systems. It may confirm that we are not alone. The leaked emails between Edgar Mitchell and John Podesta have intensified calls for full disclosure of zero-point energy research. Many believe that withholding such technologies is a crime against humanity, as it perpetuates energy scarcity, environmental destruction, and economic inequality. If zero-point is real and has already been developed in secret programs, then governments have an ethical responsibility to share this knowledge with the world. Doing so could lead to a new era of sustainable energy, space exploration, and technological advancement that benefits all of humanity rather than a select few within classified military-industrial programs. The demand for transparency has only grown in recent years, as whistleblowers, former intelligence officers, and government insiders continue to come forward with disclosures. Many believe that gradual, controlled disclosure is already underway, with selective leaks, declassified reports, and public discussions paving the way for a greater revelation in the near future. In the history of space exploration, few moments capture the imagination and spark as much intrigue as the revelation of unexpected and unexplained phenomena. One such moment occurred when an astronaut shared a mysterious photograph that appeared to show a massive ship inside a crater on the Moon. This photograph, which quickly became the subject of intense speculation and debate, raises profound questions about the nature of our lunar neighbor and the potential for extraterrestrial activity. The photograph in question was taken during one of the numerous missions to the Moon, though the exact mission remains a closely guarded secret, adding to the mystery. The image shows a large, shadowy object nestled within the confines of a lunar crater, its angular lines and distinct features standing in stark contrast to the natural surroundings. The object, which some have described as resembling a spacecraft, appears to be partially buried in lunar dust and debris, suggesting that it has been there for a considerable period. On the other hand, because of the large quantity of images that have been taken from spacecraft, a number of amateur researchers have spent endless hours searching through these photographs in the hope of discovering something peculiar, and these researchers have said that this isn't the first time that strange objects have been found. This image was taken by the Apollo 15 spacecraft, and those who have made measurements have said that the object in question measures over 6 miles long. Other amateur researchers have come forward in recent years and claim to have discovered objects that appear to be similar to those found in old photographs. They assert that this demonstrates that there is more going on than what we are being told about, and in some instances, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration is even editing out these images in the hope that we will not see them. Researchers who are just starting out claim that they do this because they believe that if the bulk of the populace were to learn about these things, they would immediately become extremely anxious. Over the past few years, NASA has come forward to assert that these assertions cannot be substantiated, and that they have never attempted to conceal irregularities in their images through the use of image editing software or airbrushing. According to amateur researchers, if you spend enough time looking for them, you will eventually find them on your own. Despite the fact that scientists have stated that it is their responsibility to unearth discoveries of this nature and to assist in advancing our knowledge, they have never discovered anything that is of interest or that cannot be explained in all of the years that they have spent performing their research. There are also substantial implications for future space exploration and the quest for life beyond Earth that are associated with the potential of an extraterrestrial presence on the Moon. If this were to occur, it would cause a re-evaluation of the current goals and tactics for lunar exploration, which may potentially lead to increased attempts to investigate and map the surface of the Moon by providing more specific information. Furthermore, it would stimulate interest in conducting similar research on other celestial planets, such as Mars and the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, for the purpose of discovering evidence of extraterrestrial activity that may have occurred in the past or may be occurring at the present time. Even while the snapshot has caused a lot of excitement and speculation, there are still a lot of questions that have not been answered. The precise nature of the object that was found in the crater, as well as its origin, continue to be shrouded in mystery, and there is no conclusive evidence to either confirm or disprove the numerous ideas. Further suspicion and conspiracy theories have been fostered by the fact that the mission and the identity of the astronaut have been kept secret. Some people have suggested that the photograph is a part of a broader cover-up of extraterrestrial activity. As of right now, the strange photograph that was provided by an astronaut and showed a massive ship inside of a crater on the Moon has captivated the imagination and caused significant debate. However, proponents of the alien theory point to the object's distinct features and symmetrical shape as proof of an artificial origin. Skeptics believe that the image is just our eyes playing tricks on us, while proponents of the hypothesis point to the object's symmetrical shape. This snapshot raises significant issues regarding the potential for extraterrestrial activity on the Moon, as well as the future of space exploration. These questions are raised regardless of the true nature of the item described in the photograph. The mysteries of the lunar surface serve as a reminder that we are still at the beginning of our journey to understand the universe and our place within it. This is something that we are reminded of as we continue to explore the infinite universe. Mysterious object seen during NASA's 1960 Mercury mission. In the early 1960s, the dawn of the space age heralded unprecedented advancements in human exploration beyond our planet. As the United States and the Soviet Union vied for dominance in space, NASA's Mercury missions became the first American forays into this new frontier. Among these groundbreaking missions, the 1960 Mercury mission stood out not just for its technical achievements, but also for the extraordinary and controversial reports of unidentified flying objects seen during the mission. These sightings have fueled decades of speculation, debate, and fascination, suggesting that humanity may not be alone in the cosmos. An image from NASA's Mercury mission, dating back over 60 years, has reignited speculation about UFO sightings and suspicions of extraterrestrial planes. An amateur researcher alleges to have discovered something peculiar in the picture, which was published on NASA's official website. The photographs were captured by the unmanned NASA spacecraft during the Project Mercury mission, which began in 1958 and concluded in 1963. According to the person who discovered the image, the unidentified object in the background is purportedly an extraterrestrial spacecraft that was hovering in orbit to observe the Mercury capsule. The researcher, who claimed to have dedicated much time examining NASA albums, announced the discovery of a disk in certain photographs from the Mercury mission. Initial reports of anomalous sightings were relayed by terrestrial radar operators who saw unidentified objects exhibiting extraordinary velocities in close proximity to the flight path of the Mercury spacecraft. These objects had flying patterns and velocities that were beyond the capability of any known aircraft created by humans at that time. Following the initial excitement and bewilderment, these radar blips were promptly confirmed by visual sightings from both mission control officers and astronomers who had been monitoring the spacecraft's trajectory. Inside the spaceship, the telemetry data captured a sequence of abnormal signals. External monitoring instruments detected inexplicable variations in radiation levels and electromagnetic interference. In addition, the cameras on board recorded brief photos of unidentifiable objects, distinguished by their unique forms and swift motions. Despite their hazy and blurred quality, These photographs depicted unidentified saucer-like structures and cylindrical forms that did not correspond to any recognized space junk or man-made satellites. A particularly convincing piece of evidence was obtained during the post-mission debriefing of the mission's controllers and scientists. Multiple essential individuals witnessed luminous objects that seemed to follow closely behind the Mercury spacecraft during its mission. The objects, characterized by their emission of a pulsating light, appeared to navigate with discernment and intention, consistently maintaining a fixed distance from the capsule. The observations were sufficiently clear and reliable to justify an internal examination conducted by NASA. NASA's official explanation at the time indicated that the sightings were probably attributable to optical illusions, reflections, or space debris. Nevertheless, this explanation failed to alleviate the increasing conjecture and fascination around the tragedy. Doubters contended that the abundance and uniformity of the observations, along with the supporting radar and telemetry information, indicated something much more remarkable than mere misidentifications. The object outside the International Space Station. Back in 2017, a huge object was caught outside of the International Space Station. This extraordinary incident, witnessed by thousands of people around the world via the space station's live stream, offers a compelling case for the existence of extraterrestrial technology. On a seemingly ordinary day, as the space station orbited Earth, the station's live feed, which regularly broadcasts stunning views of our planet, unexpectedly captured something unprecedented. Viewers noticed a colossal, disc-shaped object hovering near the space station. Unlike the usual space debris or meteors that occasionally appear, this object was distinct, with a structured and symmetrical form, suggesting an artificial origin. The sighting lasted for several minutes before the object slowly moved out of the camera's field of view, disappearing into the vastness of space. The immediate reaction from the global audience was a mixture of awe, excitement, and skepticism. Social media platforms buzzed with discussions as amateur astronomers and UFO enthusiasts meticulously analyzed the footage. Many pointed out the object's size, estimated to be several hundred meters in diameter, and its smooth metallic surface, which reflected the sunlight in a way that natural celestial bodies do not. The sheer scale and appearance of the object led many to conclude that it was not a piece of human-made space junk, but something far more extraordinary. While some attempted to provide conventional explanations, such as an unusual reflection of light or a misidentified satellite, these theories fell short of addressing the object's distinct characteristics. The structured symmetry and deliberate movement of the UFO suggested an advanced level of engineering far beyond current human capabilities. Moreover, the context of the sighting added to its credibility. The International Space Station is equipped with some of the most advanced surveillance and observational technology available, designed to capture high-resolution images and videos of space. The live feed is monitored by a team of experts who are trained to recognize and identify various objects and phenomena in space. The fact that this object appeared so clearly and was captured in such detail by the space station cameras indicates that it was not a simple optical illusion or camera malfunction. This sighting also brings to mind the numerous historical accounts of UFOs reported by astronauts and cosmonauts. From the early days of space exploration, there have been numerous reports of strange objects observed during missions. For example, NASA astronauts such as Gordon Cooper and Edgar Mitchell have publicly spoken about their experiences with UFOs, lending further credibility to the possibility of extraterrestrial encounters. The recent sighting can be seen as part of this continuum of unexplained phenomena in space. The implications of this sighting are profound and far-reaching. If the object captured by the space station's live camera is indeed an extraterrestrial spacecraft, it would suggest that advanced civilizations exist beyond Earth and possess the technology to traverse the vast distances of space. This realization would fundamentally alter our understanding of the universe and our place within it. It would prompt a re-evaluation of our scientific theories and technological aspirations as we strive to comprehend and possibly replicate such advanced engineering. Furthermore, the sighting raises important questions about the intentions and motivations of these potential extraterrestrial visitors. Are they merely observing us, or do they have a more active interest in humanity and our development? The presence of such a large and advanced spacecraft near the space stations suggests a level of curiosity, and perhaps even concern for our activities in space. It underscores the need for greater transparency and cooperation among global space agencies in sharing information and resources to understand these phenomena. In response to the sighting, there have been calls for a thorough investigation by an international coalition of space agencies, scientists, and researchers. This collaborative approach would help ensure that the analysis is comprehensive and unbiased, leveraging the expertise and technology of multiple countries to uncover the truth behind the sighting. Additionally, it would foster a spirit of global unity and shared purpose in addressing one of the most significant questions of our time. Are we alone in the universe?